Okay, we're going to give this another try here. We kind of got cut off on our last video here, which I pretty much had told you what I wanted to tell you on that without the grinder running. So we're going to do it with the grinder running now. It's going to be kind of noisy, a lot of sparks and grinding noise and stuff like that going. Safety first, wear your safety glasses when you're grinding at all times. I've showed you before that I always keep my finger by the tool rest here, so I never am pushing free-handed against the wheel. I always have my finger, whichever hand it is, up against her. And I use my fingers to bring the tool in to do the grinding. Because there's no way that you want to get your finger ground. So you got to have a tool rest. Always use your finger as a gauge to where you're holding at. You can see this wheel's been used to grind this tool bit because it matches the shape perfectly there. That's because the wheel has worn down a little bit. Typically you'd want a nice square edge, but we've got our clearance built in here, so we've got the angle coming across here. We're good with that, and we're good with that. I'm going to have to grind two different ways. I'm going to grind this way to get the front edge, and then I'm going to grind it this way to get this surface ground. And after that, then we'll touch the little angle on there so we don't have that super sharp corner that's going to break down right away. It'll help us with a long life of making our cuts. So I'm going to fire this thing up here, and maybe we'll switch spots here. You can kind of see a little bit better what I'm doing from that vantage point. I'm going to turn this thing on, and so bear with the noise for a second here. Okay, I got this against the tool rest. I got my finger holding against the tool rest. I got my finger and thumb and my forefinger. I'm going to get up here and I'm going to start grinding. And the first thing to do is to grind the bottom side. You can see the shiny spot where I was grinding there. I want to make sure I'm cleared underneath the cutting edge. Then I bring it in and I bring it up until you see a little spark just breaking across the top of the edge. You see that? That means I'm just at the top surface. If I was to tilt this thing too far the other way, our cutting edge would not be the leading edge. It would be down there. So you got to make sure that when you sharpen, and again, I've got my finger against the tool rest. I'm never pushing my hand against it. Bring that thing up, and as soon as you see that little sprinkling of sparks on the top edge, there we go. That's when you're right at the top cutting surface. So we've got that. And you see what a nice smooth surface is on there. Now I'm going to grind this side here. So you can grind and use the side of the wheel. You know, you're on the tool rest. For this particular one, I'm going to tilt it on an angle like this. And I've got my knuckle against here. I never am freehanding against the wheel. Now I can bring this thing up and down and bring it up until it just touches. You might see the sparks are kind of yellow looking. That's because I'm grinding more of the steel area here. I could probably take that over on the other wheel, but we're just going to kind of get in and get up to the carbide point there until we get that little sprinkling of sparks on the top surface. A lot of guys that's grinding, they can tell what kind of material they're working with by the spark that comes off the material. I'm working my way over there. Now you can start to see the little sparks just pushing along that front edge. You get the full surface there. Okay. So now you can see how nice that looks. It's a nice continuous surface. Now to break that 45-degree corner, we're going to set it on here again. We're above the center line of the wheel with our top of our cutting edge, so we're automatically going to get relief down in it. And we're right there. You can see the sparks right there in that little tip. Yeah, I'm going to touch it again here. We didn't quite get a full engagement there. I'm going to start at the bottom, work my way up until we start seeing those little sparks. I hope you can hear what I'm saying. Anyhow, we've got 1, 2, 3 facets now of this tool that we've sharpened up here. It's good to go, and we'll set it in the machine. So when we sharpen this tool in this particular case, I'm going to slow the wheel down here. There. Nice and quiet now. When we sharpen these tools and we go to put it back in the machine where we're cutting the pad on that pump housing, we get a finished part, a finished dimension. We put our tool in just set it loose in our tool post, and then bring our carriage up to where the indicator goes back to its 0 reading, and then we slide this tool bit up right up to the casting surface that we machined that we know is finished, and clamp it down. We got 2 big set screws here that clamp this thing down. That locates it in the lathe properly. We're pretty close to where our cutting finished dimension is, because we've slid it up to a good dimension in the casting to position itself. So after you've done that, then you can back it out, tighten the screws, and you'll have to make it cut and measure it to see where you're at, and then you can make your adjustments. But anyhow, it's all about keeping stuff square and the proper clearance and relief on the cutting tool in relation to the surface you're cutting. The lathe axis moves in and out and back and forth. That's the X and Z axis, I believe, or whatever it is on a lathe. This is not a CNC lathe over here. But those 2 axes are square, and your carriage is going to pull out and face that thing off parallel with the chuck, or the faceplate in our case. So anyhow, it's just a little bit about tool sharpening. Keep your fingers away from there. Wear your safety glasses. Use your finger against the tool post so you never push your body or your hand towards the wheel. You always use your finger motions there. I can't stress that enough. So anyhow, like I said in the previous video, give us a like, subscribe, share with your friends. This is all about showing you guys how to do some simple, basic machining operations. So have a good time doing your machining. We'll talk to you soon. So long.